Hi, Takuya Torii-san.
はい、ありがとうございます。
ありがとうございます。
はい、こんにちは。Hi, okay, so thank you very much for joining my talk. And I'm Takuya Torii from Inon, Japan. And Inon is a manufacturer making a wide range of underwater photographic equipment, including underwater flash and wide range different type of attachment lenses to get the subject in wide or macro. And also we do have different type of underwater housing for DSLR camera and compact camera, and also we have a wide range of GoPro accessories. So this time, I'm going to introduce latest macro lenses for GoPro, because not so many GoPro customers, normally they just shoot a wide angle to attach GoPro cameras on a stick. And not many GoPro customers, they think that they can do a macro. But because by using our recently released different types of macro lenses, especially designed for GoPro, we can do a macro. So with the most powerful macro lens from Inon this time, we can shoot a very tiny nudity in a very large inner frame. So later, I'm going to explain about the detail of those macro lenses. And I call myself as a messenger boy from Inon, Japan. And my role is to deliver corporate message to here, and also I collect a market voice so that we can reflect those market needs in the future product planning. And this time, I bring one corporate message for everybody. So just please keep diving and just keep shooting underwater and share your image or video on the social media so that you can influence on the other people how beautiful underwater world is, and also you can contribute to protect those beautiful and precious underwater world to bring them to a next generation. So this time, let me explain about accessories for a GoPro. And the GoPro is a very good action camera on land. When we tested the GoPro, its coverage on land is about 150 degrees, pretty wide. But because underwater environment is very unique and different from on land. So first we need to know is the reflection ratio underwater. It says 1.33. We don't have to remember this number, but just need to remember that things look differently underwater. So you may notice that when you dive and to see fishes or critters underwater, they are slightly larger than they are. And also, when you swim from a point A to point B, you may have felt that it took a little bit longer than you thought. This is all because of reflection ratio changes underwater. And the reflection ratio is how light travels through medium. So how light travels in the air is different from how light travels underwater. So like this, so you see the difference. From surface to air and underwater, because of a reflection ratio changes underwater, so they look differently. And this affects on the GoPro camera when we bring a GoPro camera underwater. And when we bring GoPro underwater, the land coverage of 150 degrees gets narrowed down. And when we test it, the coverage underwater without any attachment lens is less than 100 degrees. So 100 degrees is not wide enough to take a wide image with a GoPro. And also, minimum focusing distance of a GoPro underwater without any lens is about 60 centimeters away. So if we shoot any of a subject within 60 centimeters, everything gets blurred and soft. Okay, so now I have a sample video how close-up lens works underwater. This is by a GoPro, but without any of attachment lens. Very soft. And now I attach one of a close-up lens. And now this sea urchin gets very crispy and sharp. Because with a close-up lens, the minimum focusing distance of 60 centimeters away gets very close to a camera. And this is another sample video. This is without any of our lens. Very soft. And now I attach one of our macro lens. Then it gets very crispy and sharp. This is how the benefit to use macro lenses for GoPro. And now I remove the lens. And now subject gets blur and soft again. And now I attach it again. Then subject gets back again very crispy and sharp. And this time we have released two different types of macro lenses specifically designed for a GoPro. One is a UCL G100 and also UCL G55. And the number either of 100 or 55 stands for focal length of lens itself. And UCL G100, this 100 stands for focal length of lens itself, which means the 100 millimeter. And the G55 stands for focal length of the lens itself, which is 55 millimeter. So, which means G55 is the most powerful macro lens. And G100 is less powerful, but still very powerful comparing to existing macro lens for GoPro. So let me show you about the minimum focusing distance with the different macro lenses. So now we have just discussed that the minimum focusing distance of a GoPro without any of attachment lens is 60 centimeters away. And with UCL G165, this was the only one macro lens in the market before we released two new macro lenses. And with the UCL G165, minimum focusing distance is 10 centimeters from lens surface, then up to 35 centimeters. So from 10 centimeters to 35 centimeters is a range we can get subject in focus. And one of the newly released macro lens with the G100, that focusing range, which we call depth of field, is from 7 centimeters to 15.2 centimeters from the lens surface. And with the most powerful macro lens, which is a G55, is only 4.8 centimeters to 6.2 centimeters from lens surface. So this different color in bars stands for the range of focusing we can get subject in focus. And this picture explains also the coverage of using a different type of macro lens. So the more the magnification is, the narrower the coverage is. And because once coverage gets narrowed down, it means we can film the subject in a very large inner frame. And this video is a comparison between existing macro lens G165 and the newly released mid-power macro lens of G100. So first, I attach G165. Still, G165 works quite well to get the subject in focus and sharp. And then after, once I remove this G165, then this subject gets soft and blur. Then after, I attach a newly released G100. This is a sticker, but because this is a prototype model when I drove in Sempona last year, but the specification is the same with the mass product model. And because G100 has a more close minimum focusing distance, so I put the GoPro camera more close to the subject. But still, subject is very crispy and clear. Then after, I once remove this G100 from a GoPro. And everything gets very blur and soft. And I attached G100 again on the GoPro. And the subject gets back to a very crispy and sharp. And this video explains the difference between two newly released macro ranges between G100 and the G55. Oh, sorry, yeah. This one with the G55. So the area to shoot is more condensed and more magnified. This sample video was shot by famous Japanese photographer Yasushi Setoguchi-san, and everything he used this time, everything is from Inom, including a video torch. So next thing is we designed a kind of assisting device to focus together with the macro ranges, and we call a focus stick. And the focus stick is this part. And so this part we call a focus stick, and we have applied our patent in Japan. So already it's going to be examined by a patent agency. And for G55, we see two dots at here. And when we connect these two dots, it stands for a depth of field. It's a range we can get subject in focus. So when we use this G55, we have to put subject in between these two lines. And with the G100, the edge of this stick stands for minimum focusing distance. So subject must not get too close to attachment lens beyond this stick. So this diagram shows the range of focusing by using our attachment lenses. And usually G100 is like this. So as I explained, the edge of this stick is the minimum focusing distance. So subject must not get close to the camera side. And from here, the depth of field is up to 82 centimeters. So from a tip to 82 centimeters, which means from a lens surface to 15.2 centimeters is a range we can get subject in focus. And with the G55, most powerful macro range this time is from 4.8 centimeters to 6.2 centimeters. So the depth of field is only 1.4 centimeters. So without having this focus stick, it's quite different to shoot at the right subject because the monitor size of a GoPro is very small. So like me, already aged eyes, so I cannot see anything on the LCD monitor on the GoPro. But by using this focus stick, I just check the subject position from the top and put the subject in between that two lines. So it's very useful. This is an actual scene using a G55 with a focus stick. And probably you see this very tiny frogfish at here, baby frogfish. And we attach a G55 using a focus stick at here. So we put this baby frogfish in between these two lines. And as long as we put the subject in between these two lines, the subject is very sharp and crispy on your video. And you see the other end of the stick is flipped up. So like when we shoot a very tiny subject at the confined area, we can use only one stick, or maybe after we confirm the right distance, then we can flip up both sticks. Like this. This is a different type of combination to use a focus stick. So on the top line is the G55, and this one is the G100. And also, we designed a newer focus stick for existing 165 as well. And this is a sample video using, I believe, G55. And because this yellow goby lives inside of a bottle, so which means, so this is the mouth of a bottle, so which is about the size of the coin, very small. And this one, when I dove in Taiwan in April, and used one G55, and I shot a very tiny candy crab. The size of a candy crab is about less than 1 centimeter, but 5 mm. This is the size about, I believe, about 5 millimeters. And next one, I took a small nudie. And this one is maybe less than 5 mm. First, my dive master pointed this guy. I didn't realize. I can only see through a macro lens. And actually, I cropped this film after I took by at the 4K. So even we took a very tiny critter with our macro lenses, we can still crop the image, crop the film, and still it's okay because nowadays a GoPro can deliver very high resolution video. And next one is the sample video to shoot a small nudie with G100. When I dove in Semporna in Sabah last year. Maybe you can imagine the size of a nudie comparing to a bubble coral size. And to use our attachment lens, so we need a lens adapter, which we call SD front mask. And this lens adapter is designed based on a GoPro original case. So we have to ask you to use a GoPro original case. Otherwise, our lens adapter will not fit on. So this is a Hero 12 in a GoPro original casing. And this is how we attach a lens adapter on a GoPro original case. And it's very easy to clip on and fasten with this thumb screw. And we have a wide range of accessories for a GoPro, and like this double handle system. So with this double handle system, we can put the GoPro itself just in front of a tiny subject, okay, using this focus stick. And we make sure that the subject is in between these two lines. Then after, we start to record, and we just swim away and make it keep recording. Then we will be able to get the more unique marine behavior because without diver. So and there are wide range of combination to use our system. So even us as a manufacturer, we are not able to cover every combination. So we have to ask a customer to get any new idea to use our system. And this is simulate to put this system just in front of a tiny subject. Then, so could you check and just pass to other audience, please? So this is our system. And so we can put different type of video torch. And now, sorry, without GoPro, so the lenses are designed only for underwater use. So on land, we don't see any big difference. But the underwater, there are a very huge difference. And also, we have different system like to use an extendable carbon stick arm. And to attach, so when we shoot a wide angle with the GoPro, we also have that type of wide angle lens. And when we attach the GoPro on the end of a long carbon telescopic arm, we can shoot on a very unique footage. And this is a very simple system to attach a GoPro on the end of a short handle. And this is an actual application to use a long extendable carbon stick underwater. So when actually we facilitate this type of setup for one of our famous Japanese photographer, and he took that system to Bahama to shoot to shoot a big shark. And he managed to shoot inside the mouth of a shark, to put the GoPro inside of the mouth of a shark. So that sample video is on our website. So maybe so if you are interested in, please go to our website and to see a different type of sample video by a GoPro. And this is a QR code. And if you can scan this QR code, it navigates to our product page. So please scan this QR code. And it won't affect on your phone, so don't worry too much about this QR code. はい、OK ですか? And so during this show, I will be with our distributor for Malaysian market, which is a Rainbow Runner Asia, and just over there. And booth number is here, and I have more wide range of accessories from Inon, not only a GoPro, but for a popular TG series, TG6, TG7, and we have a wide range of accessories designed based on Olympus original housing. So please come by, stop by, and deliver many of your questions to me. Hi, this is the end of my talk, and so if you have any other question, just stop by at the Rainbow Runner booth. If you have any question right here, then I would like to answer any of your question. Hi.
Have you designed zoom lens for macro?
I had a zoom lens for macro because a GoPro doesn't have a zoom function which we can control zooming underwater. But it's a very good question because I have forgot to mention about the one important thing when we use GoPro macro lenses, which is we can set GoPro to change the zoom to not ×1, but normally we recommend to set to 1.4. So when you use a GoPro with the Inon lens, please make sure to set the lens coverage from wide to linear, and set the zoom to 1.4. So you can set the 1.4 magnification on the GoPro at 4K. I believe that the 4K. So I will recommend to use a 4K at 60 frames per second, and set the lens to linear, and set to a zoom range at 1.4. Then you will get more magnification. Any other question? I still have 1 minute and 14 seconds. Okay, so later, so please stop by, come by at the Rainbow Runner booth. Okay, どうもありがとうございました。Thank you very much.
Thank you, Takuya-san. All right, coming up shortly, we are